What up, what up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, we somehow, someway, we got there with the under the full game with the links and the sparks. So I'll take that after a cold week. We start this week off right. And we have Mr. Rob Veno here to help us out today. Rob, how's WNBA been treating you? How you doing today? And is that light green or
That's light green today. So
okay?
let's see if Casey was in the laundry basket or not, if she knows what's going on here. I was, you know what? On the wrong end of that total last night. I thought I had it at halftime, 86 points. And then to watch everybody, I think it was a 32-31 second half. So that was a small loss for me. But WNBA is still fantastic so far this year, Skee. As we've mentioned often, and one more time, I will just say, kudos to RC Ronald Kabang, who has been so good. That is really the reason why I'm number 2 over at Wagertalk right now, because he's been so good this season. But we're plus 21.7 units, and we will take that for the time being. I think I'm trying to think of how much is left until the Olympic break. I think there's only 2 or 3 games left before these teams break next Thursday, next Wednesday, whatever it is. So we'll look to improve on that over the course of this week.
Absolutely, yeah. Olympic break is definitely. I think it starts on the 17th or somewhere around there. So, just a little bit more games left before we have about a month off for the W. First guess was correct. RB10. He has light green for you today. So, you won before. You know how this goes. Either hit me up on Discord or DM or whatever works best, and we'll make sure you get some free lunch today. So appreciate everybody for guessing. Shout out to RB10 for the winner, and we got some games going on already. Vino, just a little bit of a different kind of day. I think it's the camp day, so they have all the early games, so all the campers can go. And I'm looking at 3 screens right now: Atlanta, Chicago, Washington, Indiana. And then we have the Liberty, who came out of halftime and stormed out to a 10-point lead once again. So I'll ask you really quick here, Rob. Did anything are you on any of these games, first of all? I guess that's what I want to know first.
Well, I didn't get on any of these games. And I'll tell you the quick reason why, Skee, is that I don't have enough data on how these morning games go. Middle of the week morning games. I know that a lot of times in college football, if there's an 11 a.m. game, sometimes teams come out sluggish first half. I looked at a couple of totals, maybe thinking unders would be good in the first half. And actually it was good in the New York, Connecticut game. That first half did stay under. But I don't know enough about how these teams react to these early morning starts. So I do have a play on one of these late games, but these 3 early ones, I just didn't know which way to go. I came closest to playing Indiana and Washington, that game over the total, but I didn't get there.
Well, they've started out 8-5, about 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. I did do a show this morning. A couple people mentioning it in the chat. Did a show with Chris, and we did talk about all these games. So it's kind of looking like how I was expecting. Washington is always coming out strong, throwing the first punch. Washington first half has been good all year, so it's not really a spot for me to get involved in that game. If you were liking the over, I haven't really been watching closely. I'm watching now. I didn't watch from the tip, but I would expect it to pick up for both of these teams, especially for the Fever offense. So maybe a live over for that could be something. And for the Chicago game, it kind of started how I thought too. I was saying Chicago early, first half kind of, and they're already up. So no reason for me to get involved right now. I am on this New York and Connecticut over. So that first quarter was beautiful. That second quarter was a disaster. And I'm not necessarily loving what I'm seeing so far in the third quarter. So we'll see if we can pick it up. Was there anything you wanted to jump on live betting wise, or you would like to get to these games that we haven't started yet?
I would say this, Skee, to the point that you made first about maybe getting in on this Washington, Indiana over live betting, just watching the game on the monitor ahead of me. This game is up and down. They just haven't made a heck of a lot of shots yet. But I mean, Indiana's shooting every 6 or 7 seconds. Washington's coming back and shooting every 7 or 8 seconds. So there's plenty of opportunity here if the game's going to go at this pace. And you like to see that if the game starts off slow and you want to in-game live and go over. I see a basket nullified here by Aaliyah Boston. They're going to go to a timeout. But, yeah, the pace here is rapid, and perhaps in-game is a good way to look right now. I think they have 20 as they go to timeout. Oh, did he freeze on me?
Damn, man. My bad, you guys. Power went out. I'm still on the road and the power went out. So it went out and came back on. I know it's a storm over here where I'm at. Can you hear me?
There you go. Got you back. Yep.
Everything good on your end?
Yeah. I just lost
Okay.
you there and refreshed.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, but it's a storm over here, and the power went out. So my bad. Should be all good now. Everything's back. Wi-Fi rebooted. So I'm just trying to refresh my screens. But let's get to some of these games that haven't started, and then we'll go back to this live betting because I need to catch up. We have 633, 634, Aces and Storm. This one opened up Aces -5. They're now 4.5 point favorites. Total open 173 is down to 172.5. Injury report. Bad. Let me get there. Gustafson is out for the Aces. Looks like besides that, everybody will be available. So it's a good spot for the Storm, I believe, here, Rob. They've been at home, pretty much all month. And I think they're the more rested team. Aces have had a spot where they played 3 and 4 days. One of those games had been an overtime game. I just think it's a really advantageous spot for the Storm. So are you viewing it that way? And are you looking at the side or looking at the total?
Well, where Las Vegas is concerned, generally I'll look at the total first. That's just the way I play. But in this particular instance, I did look at the Seattle side. Skee, Las Vegas beat them earlier this year, 94-83. That game was in Las Vegas, however. And then there was a game before that where Seattle beat them by 13. In that game where Seattle won by 13 in Las Vegas, of course, no Chelsea Gray. Come back to the second game, and it was the game where Chelsea Gray returned. Didn't start, but she returned and played 15 and a half minutes, and that was the game where Las Vegas' offense started to look a little bit better. So it's the first home game for Seattle here in this particular series, and Seattle has been the stronger team at home. I think Seattle's still the stronger defensive team, although I'll say this, Asia Wilson usually has her way down low against anybody, so Seattle's not the tallest team in the world at the rim. Could be, for prop players, a good game for Asia Wilson here. I kind of like the Storm plus points here, Skee. I'm not thrilled with it. I didn't play it, but I have a hard time with Las Vegas on the road, the way they're playing defense right now. Again, they play it in spurts, but when I looked at the teams that they played it really good against, it was 2 times against Washington and once where they really shut down Indiana. Gave up 98 to the Sparks, albeit in overtime, which wasn't a good look. So it's kind of up and down for them right now. I think Seattle will be up for this game, so I think the points are worth taking. And I don't, biggest question for me is, will the Aces be able to come in here and push pace? I don't know. Seattle's, their tempo, it's a funny rating here, Skee. I'll just say this real quick. When you look at their overall pace rating, you assume that this is a fast break team, or at least a quick tempo team. But their tempo ranges from game to game. And I think when they know they can run, I've seen them like with teams like Dallas. When they know they can run and outrun the other side, they do so. Here against Las Vegas, the first result would indicate not a lot of running. The second result indicates with Chelsea Gray in the lineup, there was more pace. It's a very, very tough call for me at this price. I was hoping for maybe 168.5, somewhere in that range. Didn't get it. So my look, if I were to play, would be Seattle plus points. I just can't make up my mind. Too many angles for me to look at that are contradictory.
I feel you on that. I am leaning towards the Storm here, and I don't even think you would need points. I think that they can go in and win this game. They've been really strong at home. I think they've only lost 2 games all year, and just with the advantageous spot and a little bit of a revenge spot, just showing they can compete with the top teams, I think we'll get a really good performance from them. So thinking about that Storm plus 170 is what I saw a little bit earlier, and what I did bet in this game, I think the Aces team total under 88.5. And my thought is just, Seattle hasn't given up 89 points at home all season. I know the Aces scored more than that on their home floor versus Seattle last game, but Seattle is a really good defensive team. Whether or not the Aces bring it defensively is a question mark, but I do trust the Storm to play defense, especially at the house. So I'll trust, all season long they haven't given up this number. I don't think they'll do it again here today. Any thoughts on that?
I would agree with that. I mean, we've looked at Las Vegas team total under when it was like 96.5, 94 against poor defensive teams. Now they did get their Their last game, they put up over 100 against Dallas, but that's Dallas. So, yeah, I could see the Storm holding, especially at home, under 88.5. That's a large number to eclipse against that defense.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Ray D'Amico says he got it at 89.5. B Daddy is looking to live bet that game. Nathan took Seattle on the money line. He's thinking the same way there. And Luis Martinez jumping in live on this Dream and Sky under 158.5. Before we move to this next game here, Rob, just looking at so far, damn, I wish the internet didn't drop because I feel like we just talked about the Fever game, or I don't know if that was after the internet drop. I just was trying to pull everything back up, but they picked it back up to end that first quarter. They're right back on track for the full game over. By chance, did you see the number that it was when you looked at it?
You know, when we dropped, I did bet at Skee. I got 165. It was a couple lower than the full game was 67.5. I think I got it at 65 for the reasons that we mentioned. And as you said, it was really a pretty huge scoring spree out of Washington the last 3 minutes, just watching it here on the monitor to get themselves to 26. So, yeah, the pace is really good here. I think these quarters can only get higher scoring as we go on.
All right, I like it. I wish damn, man, they got me out of some money right there, Rob, with that little power outage. But I'll root for you on that one to bring it home. Let's move over to the next. Oh, before we move over, the Sky, they've kind of fallen off here. You got your eyes on this game. I know they were winning at first, but I still think Dream are missing too many players. How many players are going to come in off the bench in that second quarter and be able to still produce? Is kind of how I'm thinking. The Sky, I feel like are the deeper team, and I trust them at the house. So seeing them down, trying to look up a first half live line. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm looking at a live line now of Sky only minus 2.5. That's got to be doable. I would think. The Sky, as we've noted a million times, and we're not, telling anybody watching anything that they don't already know. But those scoring droughts that they can go through are tough when they're not making shots. But eventually against Atlanta, to your point, Skee, I counted this morning 8 bodies available for the Dream and maybe 3 that you could count on for production. So, by the time 40 minutes runs out, you would expect Chicago at home to put together a little 10-0, 12-2, something like that spurt where they get fired up, even if it's in the second half. So I think this is definitely in range to go ahead at this point in time. 2.5 seems like a shy number.
This one, I'm trying to just figure out what's the 2.5 was for the first half or the full game?
Full game, and I'm watching it move right now to it's closed right now. Atlanta's up 6. Yeah, Chicago's minus 2.5. They're asking me for 20 cents juice on the 2.5.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm watching it right now, and after just watching a couple possessions and catching back up, Atlanta is trying to force Chicago to shoot. I feel like, and it doesn't look like Chicago's having success. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on it for a little bit longer before I pull the trigger on anything in that game. Next game up, Rob, we have, and last game up too, we have Wings and Mercury. This one opened up Mercury minus 8.5. They're now 7.5 point favorite. Total drop from 175 down to 173. And the injury report for this one, Diana Taurasi is out. Rebecca Allen is game time decision. Let me check if she's more like probable. She is probable, so likely to be out there. And then for Dallas, same usual suspects are all out. Seagrist out, Sabali, etc., etc. So for me, Rob, I'm gonna keep it real simple and pass it to you on this note. Dallas, they haven't been stopping anybody. They've been giving up damn near, I feel like 90 plus in their sleep every single game. And the Mercury haven't been the best defensive team either. Is this just an easy over 173? Is the market going the wrong way?
Well, I hope they're going the wrong way, Skee, because I played over. And I'll tell you what, we had this discussion last week. I got on my little soapbox for a minute when people called me a man of misinformation, which I tried not to be. But That was the game where, remember, Brittany Griner and Rebecca Allen were both closer to doubtful middle of the day than they were to playing, and they did both play. And of course, that game scored 200 points. I happen to have the Wings total over in that contest. It was 81.5. Today, it's only 82.5. And I think it is as simple as you stated. For me, this becomes a mechanical play with Dallas. Their team total is 82.5. Don't see why it wouldn't go over once again. And the game total is dropping because of the absence of Diana Taurasi. And to me, that doesn't matter much. She had 16 points last week. She did get to the free throw line 11 times.
10 points, right?
And made 10 free throws. But the rest of the team, Copper, 34 points in that game. Brittany Griner, 24 points in that game. Arike, 26. Natasha Howard, that was a bust-out game where she had 36. We saw again Saturday that trio of Arike, Natasha Howard, and Odyssey Sims now, they play one style, Skee. And I always say, Dallas isn't going to change. This goes for any sport. If a team plays a certain style and they're not going to change, the opponent, which in this case is Phoenix, has now beaten them 3 times playing the same style. They're not going to change. We've beaten you 3 times up and down the floor. We're going to continue to go up and down the floor. We'll beat you again. So there's enough scoring weapons here. There's not enough defense here for my liking, even with Brittany Griner in the game last week. And I think this is important because Dallas is such a great offensive rebounding team. I think they still rate number 1 in the WNBA in offensive rebound percentage. Brittany Griner didn't really dominate the board. She dominated scoring-wise.
All right. Hopefully it's not. No, it's not me this time.
You're back.
There we go. There you go. I hear you.
Everybody's wide awake at the start of this game because for Dallas, and if you want to play their team total along with the full game total like I did, Dallas is over this number of 82.5. 5 of their
Rob probably getting a storm over there too, man. I'll say this. I agree with the over.
There we go.
Yeah, I hear you over here. I'm in agreement with this over. A couple of things you were talking about, just to put numbers to it. Phoenix last 5 games at least, the second worst as far as they're allowing a lot of offensive rebounds, and the Wings top 3 in offensive rebound percentage. So they should be able to take advantage there, like you said, even with Griner down there, and dead last and second worst defensive rated teams over the last 5 games. Just hard for me to see, this one not get up and over the total.
I'm going to agree, Skee, like I say, and I think Dallas probably gets over their 82.5 as well. So at Phoenix, 104 last game, even without Taurasi, they could probably get 90. You watch enough of Dallas, and maybe it's just me, but I really wish that they were whole as a team because I'd like to see Sabally and Maddie Segrest in this lineup make them too deep, or I think they'd be much better. But for now, they are what they are. They're a team that scores. They're a team that allows. And they played Phoenix 3 times, and all 3 times it cleared this number, so I'm not going to change now.
Fair enough. 82.5, is that what you said?
For the Wings team total, yeah.
All right, I think that's definitely doable. So nice work there. Just taking another look at all these games. Washington is killing the Fever. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in I said on Chris's show earlier that when I see a Fever minus points, I'm not running to the window to even think about betting that. So I'm not really interested in betting them to come back here. And as far as the total is concerned, I just want to take a look at the live over because I was interested. I still think there's points to be scored here. It's still at 169.5, so still on track for the full game over. I'll leave that alone. The Sky game, it seems like the Sky are not getting up for this first half. Maybe they can make some adjustments. They haven't been a great second half team, but I guess I don't really have anything else. I'm disappointed. I missed out and internet dropped and I didn't get that over on the Washington and the Fever. so not gonna force it. Anything catching your eye before we move over to best bets?
I'll say real quick that the Indiana side, and there's no way you'd want to lay 7 with them, but then in the position that they're in now, they did have that come from behind game against Phoenix a couple of games ago in Phoenix, where it was Caitlin Clark's first trip in to face Diana Taurasi's team. And Diana, of course, had a lot to say to start the season. And Phoenix was all over them early, and Indiana blew them out second half. So I do think they have a little bit of character to them for the potential comeback against Washington. Like you said, Washington good first half, maybe not second half. So maybe you have a good price here in game with Indiana. As I mentioned earlier, this pace, I'm looking at it now, Skee. That's why I'm not looking at the monitor, but it's just up and down every 2 seconds here. If some shots start to fall, this thing's going to get to 170 pretty easy.
Yeah, the Fever are currently plus 150 now, and they were -6 to start the game. So, Washington's defense isn't great either. There's always a chance that they can come back. All it takes is Washington to get cold from 3 for a little bit. So we shall see. I guess we'll move it on over to best bets. And Veno, I'm a little bit thrown off, so I'm going to ask you if there's anything you would like to promote today, and maybe a best bet for the show.
Yeah, real quick here. We'll do the fast promo for Wagertalk.com. Right now, they've got a 30-day special going on for the summer. Every play released for a special price. So if you want to get involved in selection packages, hop over to Wagertalk.com. You can check my homepage, check Skee's homepage. Both links are in the description, as he always says. And if you're interested in free video content, just drop your email address over at Wagertalk.com. You get all the video, all the written content that we provide each and every day for free over there at Wagertalk.com. As far as best bet is concerned, Skee, I'll just go back to Dallas Phoenix and say over 173 to me looks like the best bet of the day. It's the one I played first. It's the one I like most. I did back it up with a Dallas team total over 82.5. So maybe I leave you with a couple of things here, but it's I think I commented on Twitter a few days ago that the WNBA is a little bit upside down right now for me.
Yeah, because the Olympic break.
Yeah, I think we should have known.
It's just like the All-Star break in NBA.
Because it was like being on that nice boat sailing at a nice cruise control speed, and then all of a sudden we hit a couple of rocks here. But still, the profits have been really good so far this season, plus 21.7. I'll take that the first half of the year anytime, and hopefully we can add to that today with today's best bet, Dallas Phoenix over 173.
All right, good stuff there. And for myself, my best bet will be the only other one I've placed so far. Doesn't mean I won't make any others, but Aces team total under 88.5. Storm haven't given it up all season. They've been at home all month. Aces have had a pretty tough schedule lately, so I think the Storm bring it. I know I can trust them on the defensive end. Aces team total under 88.5 is my best bet for the show. Veno, I didn't even get a chance to look at tomorrow or Friday, but whenever you want to do something, you're more than welcome to come on the show. I'd love to talk the games out with you. Good luck on your action tonight. To everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys as well. A lot of great cappers, a lot of great people, and I enjoy doing the show and capping these games with you guys every single day. So best of luck to everybody. Good luck on all your action. I will catch y'all again tomorrow.